Hey guys, I just wanted to go over an issue, or to really go over something that can occur while you're programming. So here's something very simple. All I'm doing is importing the turtle, getting the screen object, and creating a temporary object I call painter. And basically what this code does is I'm going to start two timers. A timer that prints A 3 times, and then a timer that prints B 3 times. At the end of the timer, it recalls itself, meaning that so every 100 milliseconds, this timer should print B 3 times. However, there are things in here that are going to slow it down slightly. What you should expect as output is that whenever this timer executes, you should expect it to come up here, print out A. So what you should expect happen is whenever this timer, print A timer, executes, you should print A, move the turtle a little bit, print A, then print A again. And when B timer executes, it's going to print B, move the turtle, print B, move the turtle. And when A prints, it should executes, you should get this. So we should expect 3 A's, then 3 B's, then 3 A's, and 3 B's again. So let's execute and see how this works. Actually, let me increase it maybe to 200. Alright, so we executed a few times. Notice it printed A, and then all of a sudden B printed 3 times. Then A printed. So these two functions are executing in parallel. You don't know which line of code is actually going to be executed at any time. So when this function is executing, it gets down to print A, and while it's trying to move the turtle forward, it then jumps down here and executes all of this. Then it comes back up to here and executes this. What this means is that you cannot confirm that all of these statements will be executed sequentially before some statements in this line of code is executed. So let's see if there's any more. So we see here, at this point right here, we see that it printed these two statements, and then all of a sudden it executed this entire function before it moved down to the third print A. Actually, I'm kind of wrong on that as that goes down. So let's look at it here. Let's decrease and make this more. So again, same issue at the start. This is where it print 3 of each. Notice that here it prints B first, then the A's, and we see some errors being generated towards the end, like for example here. So this can lead to problems. In this class, we aren't going to worry about parallel programming, though we do have event handling code. Whenever this is created, it creates another thread. You can think of it almost as if another program is executing, and that program only contains this function. Bits of code can interact between each other and be executed at almost the same time. Internally, what's happening is it'll come over here, it'll print A, and then the computer will decide, should I start printing B next or continue printing here? And it's completely random where will be printed. I added in this painter forward to slow it down and ensure that the time is going to mismatch. If I remove these forwards, it usually ends up printing 3 A's and then 3 B's and working correctly. And we don't really see it mismatching too well. But also think of the times when you have one function, one event handler is actually when you click. Now it would be completely random which one is executed at the same time. Is usually these errors are extremely hard to solve as it's random and they don't always appear up. When you're programming, you should be thinking ahead of time, especially when you have event handlers, what other code could be executing at the same time. So if you're going back to the code that was due today, think about when you're clicking. Are you hiding, showing the turtle, lifting the pen up, putting the pen down? And what about the code that prints out the the leaderboard? It would probably be better to not have that same turtle be used, or to just leave the pen up constantly. But you should recognize that some bits of your code can be intermingled into this code. So for example, the computer could just randomly decide, I want to execute this, then I'll execute from this code next, then I will continue and finish this code, and then finish this code next, and then randomly call this one next, and then this one afterward. Because both functions are executing at the same time, the order is going to be kind of random which next line of code is gotten next. Because they're executing at the same time, they're going to try to run both at the same time. It might run this one first, then this one, or it might run all the code inside, then all the code here, or it could do interchangeably one at a time. To help prevent this, you generally don't want to have these two things interacting with the same turtle. You want to create a new turtle more than likely. If you run into issues related to this, just document them and ask for help if you need help on figuring out. Again, this class isn't parallel programming. We're mostly doing sequential code, but these timers do create parallel threads that run at the same time as your main code.